Hello and welcome to Club Asteria. Today what I want to do is go through the network directors positions that we have available. There are 5 positions: network director 1, 2, and 3, senior network director, and executive network director. All of these commissions that we're going to go through in this presentation are in excess of normal commissions that we offer in Club Asteria. You will receive revenue share on a regular basis. You will also receive 10% introduction bonus for introducing new business into Club Asteria. This chart represents a short view of the 30% payments that we make. And what I want to do is I'm going to go over to the Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to go down here to the ranges. And you'll be able to do this when you download your spreadsheet, and you'll be able to see what this is all about. On the left-hand side here, this one goes down 10,000 rows, because what we do is we pay out in increments of $100. So if you did a $1,000 sale, or $1,000 in your global organization, what would happen is that you would receive 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents for the first $500, and then you'd receive $1 for the next $500, and so on up the road. And so at 1,000, you'd have a total of $7.50. Now what we want to do is we want to go back over to the PowerPoint presentation and continue with that. Number 1 is the commission percentage that applies in determining compensation is dependent on the global monthly revenue, unlimited level state. Global monthly revenue is defined as the total revenues within a calendar month from all revenues that were provided by members who were directly referred by you, and from members who were referred by those members, and so on for an indefinite number of levels. This is your global revenue. Commission percentage in each case is only for the range specified, and that's why we showed it to you in increments of $100. Network director's override is determined by your GMR, your global monthly revenue, less the compensation of each network director in your group. So if we look at you personally, and let's just make an assumption that your total organization that is not below another network director did a turnover of $65,000. That would bring you up to the 11% bracket, but as you climbed up there, you would have gained a total of $4,963. Now what we want to do is we want to ask the question, what if you introduce 4 network directors? In this case, we have Roy, Sue, Bob, and Ted, and we have $15,000 for Roy, $45,000 for Sue. Bob did $85,000, and Ted's global volume was $35,000. Well, all of this volume here counts towards your global volume and pushes you higher up the ladder. So you can see that Roy, Sue, Bob, and Ted. So how much did they each make? On $15,000, Roy made $618. Sue, $45,000. This is her global downline, unencumbered. That volume, which is not underneath another network director, she made $2,940. Bob, $7,361, and Ted, $2,066. This chart shows you the override on what you receive for Roy, Sue, Bob, and Ted. If we look on the left here, we see in green that Roy's $15,000 is taking him up to 6%, where Sue's $45,000 brought her up to 9%, Bob's $85,000 is 13%, and Ted's $35,000 brings him up to 8%. Well, we add all of these together plus the $65,000 that you've done. What we see is that you have a total commission ratio of 19%. So now what we really want to know is that what is your override on the 4 network directors that you introduced? What we have is that you receive 13%. Look on the right here. You receive 13% of Bob's $15,000, so you get $1,950. You have 10% on Sue's $45,000, which is $4,500. You have Bob's GMR, 5% of Bob's $85,000, which is $5,100. And then you have 11% of Ted's $35,000, which is $3,850. And when you add it all together, you get $15,400. And then we add that together with your open commission, which is $4,963, and we see that you get $20,363. What I want to do now is I want to skip over to the spreadsheet so that you can see how this is all calculated. Right here, we have the network directors calculator, and it shows up top where we see your open volume. You've done $65,000. You get $4,963 to it, which brings you up to the 11% position. You have Roy here, who did $15,000, which brings him up to the 6% position, and he's received a total of $618 for that. Sue, who's at 45,000, has now climbed up to 9%, and she gets $2,940. We have Bob, who's at 85,000. He's now up to 13%. He gets $7,361. And then we have Ted, who's at 35,000, who's climbed up to 8%, and he's at $2,066. What's important here is to see again that at 13%, this is the difference between 19 and 6, it's 13%, you get $1,950. And then with Sue, you get $4,500. With Bob, you get $5,100, and with Ted, you get $3,850 for a total of $20,360. Now, what's kind of interesting here is you can work this chart any way you want, and you can start asking yourself all kinds of questions. Let's say you'd introduced another team, and that team came in with $3,000, and you can see here that you're at 17% difference. So you get $510 plus the 10% that you introduced them. You get a total of $810 for that particular sale. You can play around and you can put as many network directors here as you want, and you can just fill in down below. You can put $1,000, and these people come in for whatever amount that they want, depending on your ability to teach them to build an organization. And as they come in, your position rises and rises. So far, you were at 19%, now you're at 20%. And so all of your commissions along here get bigger. You can see that 14% here, 11%, 7%, and 12%, which are higher than they were before when we went back. Let me just use the back key. And you watch those commissions change. They dropped 13, 10, 6, and 11. And then I put those numbers back, and look, they climb 14, 11, 7, 12, 8, 18%, and so on. So you want to play with the chart as much as you can and understand what to do. So we have to ask ourselves a few questions. Will I make more money doing this on my own? Well, I think you'd be better off building a strong team. Does the plan give me the incentive to work with those that I introduce? Well, certainly, I hope so. How many network directors can I introduce? Well, that's up to you. We've given you spots for 40, and we'd be more than happy to give you another spreadsheet that will give you more network directors as you get there. What if I introduce network directors from other countries? Well, Philippines, Thailand, Europe, Japan, etc. Yes, absolutely. This is where you really make the big money. You work with those people. You get the pleasure of going over, if you so choose, and helping them build a sales organization, and it makes this a global business for you and becomes very, very pleasurable. To become a Network Director 1, it costs $1,000, and for that you have a commission ratio in the Network Director's override that is capped at 5%, and what you're purchasing is a position on our rotator where we give you members that are already signed up into Club Asteria. As and when they come on board, we move them to your account. As a Network Director 1, you receive it at the ratio of 6.25%, whereas an Executive Director, you receive it at 37.5%. A Network Director 2 costs $3,000. Network Director 3 is $5,000. Senior Network Director is $7,500, and an Executive Network Director is $9,500. And for each of them, you get an enhanced position in the rotator, plus we give you Asterios. You can see that the capping amounts are 5%, 10%, 20%, 25%, and 30%, which is our highest position available. Anyway, that was a quick overview of what the plan's all about. The 5 positions, as we talked about, are right here. You can choose to come in at any level you want and enjoy the fun. We're here to support you every which way we possibly can. We're doing autoresponders, squeeze pages, video recordings, etc. And pretty much anything that you really need us to do. If we agree that it's the right thing, we'll do our best to get it ready for you and help you market. And if you need multiple languages, we'll do that too. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. And if you have any questions, please contact us and we'll do our best to get them answered for you. Thank you.